about who should take responsibility for the gross irresponsibility of members of the community. Nigeria has given to Niger Delta UNPADEC. Nigeria came out with Niger Delta Development Commission. Nigeria comes out with amnesty. Nigeria comes out with all kinds of palliatives and DDC, all to assuage the Niger Delta for the oil production and the consequences of oil production in that region. Incidentally, none of us, I'm a Niger Deltan, none of us have been able to define for our people what we have done with that. The state of insecurity has become phenomenal and recurrent in the Niger Delta. How do I mean? Don't forget, in the run-up to the 2015 election, 2011 elections, don't forget what an Amechi suffered. Don't forget that over 42 vehicles, over 200 vehicles were burnt in Akwa Ibom State under under Godswill Akpabio against Udo again in ACN in 2011. Don't forget also that Amechi eventually had to run out of town and went into self-exile in Ghana in the build-up to the 2015, 2011, 2007 elections. And for us, therefore, what should happen in Niger Delta when there is no police crisis? There is always the Avengers. There is the Niger Delta crisis. There is the Bakassi Avengers and all kinds of things. We generate them.
But we are, so sorry, I have to come in here. We are going into elections now.
Yes.
You have said about the Amechi, what Amechi suffered. You have said what Akpabio did when he was governor of Akwa Ibom State. Are you saying that whatever happened then, what is happening now is a payback time?
Without justifying what has happened, I am only demonstrating to you that we must have to hold ourselves responsible for the history we have created of generating violence even when there is no violence. In an election year, it is a responsibility of the police to prevent crisis, not to cure crisis. Preventive policing is better than curative, even in medicine. Therefore, what we find in the Niger Delta is about elections rather than about security and development. If the community and the people and the leadership are concerned about development, clearly the issues and the generation of crisis and the executive gyrations and the unnecessary tensions and tendencies that are emanating from the Niger Delta will be unnecessary. Why Niger Delta? You forgot what had just happened when a senator had to start climbing trees to save himself in Kogi State. That's not Niger Delta. I am saying that our national leadership, our malaise in leadership, and our quest for election and position for position's sake has not made us become development conscious. And Niger Deltans must have to take responsibility from their leadership and insist that those who insist on governing us must do so by our mandate and not by generating tension for us unnecessarily. Okay. So that tension is self-inflicted. Self-inflicted.
You just heard him. He said the tension is self-inflicted, and the cries coming from the governors of these three states, they are just crying foul.
To me, it is a shame and an embarrassment to the government of the day, the Nigerian police. At this point in time in our national history, we should concentrate more on things that have to do with development, not going through all these failures in policing and police. Instead of minding their core responsibility, they are dipping themselves into political activity. It's an embarrassment into the 21st century.
But you know, you just alleged that the police are dipping themselves.
For God's
do
sake,
you have facts about that?
For God's sake, you see, we live in a country whereby, you see, when things happen, we intend to lie openly. You know, we just lie.
Who's lying?
I mean the government. The government and
Which
the leaders.
of the governments?
For God's sake, there's a government in power. There's a government in power now, which is the APC government. I heard what my friend here just said. What happened to Amici and what happened to Akpabio. These characters you're talking about now in APC. Especially the Akpabio saga you're talking about. What happened between Udo Odege and Akpabio. Akpabio is in APC. Udo Odege, both of them are in APC. These are the same people that almost burned down Akwa Ibom. The same people are in APC. And they're ready to do that with the backing of the federal government.
So are you alleging now that they had the backing of the federal government for what they did?
Sake. No, Udo Odege was the opposition. Akpabio was an incumbent government then running for a second term.
So they're bringing back that...
For God's sake, these people, they have the talent to bring out the worst in leadership when it comes to violence.
That's your opinion.
That's my opinion, but that's the truth. Because if you go down history lane, what happened in Akwa Ibom then, it was shocking. It was shocking. The violence was alarming. And the characters you're talking about, the both of them are in APC. And they want power at all costs. And here you have a president who is also desperate for a second term. And who wants to capture the Niger Delta at all costs.
Is the president actually desperate?
For God's sake, with what we are seeing, look at what happened in Osun State. what happened in Kwara recently, it was a security agent against the opposition. I'm not a member of the opposition, but I'm just stating the fact, the obvious here. What I'm trying to say is that if we must get it right in our country, we should concentrate more on development. We should concentrate more on serving the people. If indeed you want to serve the people, then you must seek for their support and canvass for their vote, not trying to bring violence and burn down the state. We are in civilized world, for God's sake. And how long are we going to continue in this path? How long as a country? Because the APC now will go back history and say PDP did the same thing. I thought the APC were bringing change. And the APC should at least make our democracy a pride in Africa.
All right, Honorable, just this evening, we will receive a news from River State Governor, and this time is alleging that the APC government just discovered a plot by the APC government trying to smuggle in 800 guns to destabilize government in River State. That's another part of the Niger Delta region.
Now, let me say this to you. Solipsism is a very good instrument for intellectual fencing. But when it confronts reality, it collapses like a pack of cards, Humpty Dumpty, and it can't be packed together. What we're just engaging in here is intellectual fencing. We are dealing with hard facts, core facts. You are not dealing with personalities. We are dealing with a region bound to violence. And I have just demonstrated to you, when we started creating amnesty under the Musa Yar'Adua government, it was a PDP government, and he brought the amnesty. What was the basis for it? I spoke on BBC, on VOA. I was on the media consistently screaming that we are trying to plant and snowball into a permanent state of anarchy. At that time, there was no Boko Haram. Today, you are now talking about that and painting them with APC. It is beyond APC. It is even beyond PDP. That's the point I'm making. Stop the labeling with people of where they belong to. What is happening here when you talk about APC federal government? This APC federal government superintended about elections in which they lost almost everything. You are busy talking about the Kitty of yesterday. What happened in Bauchi, Katsina, and Kogi only yesterday, and Kwara rather. What happened with the federal house seats there? It was police versus that. It was army versus that. Is that the reality? Is that really? Is that the reality?
Excuse
Are you
me.
sure
It is not the reality. It is not the reality.
Here
we are dealing with the Niger Delta region, which is controlled by PDP, and a PDP government that has promised itself, and the PDP governors that have promised themselves that they will retain power. Therefore, screaming all the time about police and about security and insecurity is not about the federal government imposing the police state on those areas.
What about, I'll come to you, what about the siege the police laid to the Akwa Ibom state, if not for the Senate yesterday?
Just ask my colleague
let me ask you, if as security agency you have intelligence service that this place is going to be invaded, do you expect a normal police to allow AIT to be invaded? If they come in here and block this place so that the invaders won't get here. You understand me? To do what? If some members were in and others were coming to attack, what's the role of the police? To prevent.
So why did they? Sorry, I'll come back to you. Just hold on. Why then did they change the police commissioner? The Bayelsa State in 3 months, 8 police commissioners.
Great. And that's the same federal government you are claiming wants to impose a police state in a place where if a police commissioner is accused of compromise or politicizing the place, he's taken out almost immediately. It never happened under the PDP. When that happens, such a person is planted there. Don't forget what happened to Amici and keep insisting that Amici's commissioner was never changed.
Honorable, I would also like to let you know that the day before that commissioner was changed, the national chairman of the APC, there were reports that the national chairman of the APC raised alarm that the police was compromised by the governor of the state.
So both ways there was compromise allegations from
That's
the
why
government
they changed
of the state.
The commissioner.
Precisely. That's why I'm saying that the government is responding to those accusations of politicization of the police, and the man was removed. If he was left there and APC takes over, you say he was there to protect him. Okay. If he's removed, so whichever way you are permanent complainants.
All right, Honorable, we'll have to allow him.
It's shocking when I see, I guess you are being once an honorable, you're a leader in the Niger Delta. When I see leaders trying to manipulate issues, it's very, very shocking. If you know what happened in Bayelsa, I experienced firsthand the Bayelsa election. And I'm not saying this based on rumors. I saw it with my eyes. The role the military played in Bayelsa. I saw it. I saw how the military was trying to aid the current party, APC, to manufacture over 70,000 votes. This I'm saying, I saw it, I was there, I witnessed it.
Which of the elections?
The Bayelsa
election. Yes. See, we can speak all the grammar we want to speak. But let me tell you something.
My dialects,
honestly, let me say something.
I can speak
We're talking about personalizing the issue.
Allow him.
This issue, whatever is going on in the Niger Delta today, the politicians, the leaders are responsible.
Agreed on that.
So we are talking about the violent. I'm mentioning names because these people are still the actors today.
On both sides.
If you want to sincerely capture the Niger Delta, or you want to sincerely appeal for the vote of the people, I'm talking about the APC now. If you want that people, please canvass, go sell your manifesto to the people, lobby them, and see if they will see reasons to vote for you. But we know, you and I know, that what is going on in the Niger Delta today, especially in Akwa Ibom, is politically motivated.
But what about a situation where the police gets information?
What information?
First-hand information, and they decide to act swiftly.
We saw what happened in Benue recently. The police is always getting information. We saw what they did to Edwin Clark. They're always getting information. But what kind of information? Information that you said they're going to be violent in the State Assembly, and you had 3 members or 5 members in the House presiding over.
To what effect?
So, but in Bayelsa, I remember in May, June, that the Bayelsa governor ran to the presidency, that the state is becoming something else and it needs help. Now, Bayelsa government is also complaining that they are changing these commissioners.
Election in Nigeria, to be very honest with you, this is how election is played. It's not power. The power they are clamoring for, the power they are all struggling to get, is not to serve the people, it's to serve themselves. So to them, they have an APC government in power. It's their time, it's their time that they should use all force to grab power in their various states. So the politicians there, who are APC members, see themselves, oh, we must use this opportunity. We are the ones in power. Whatever we can do, we should get the back. You see, this is a norm in Nigeria politics. I'm not here to say PDP or APC. This is what is. We see this every political
area.
Yes, we see this every time. Both when PDP were in power and now the APC. But my problem is that is it not high time we move away from this kind of politics? How long are these politics benefit us? How long? How long has what are these politics brought to the people? The people are suffering every day. People are they're in pain. And this is kind of politics we are still playing. Our leaders should be embarrassed. If they continue to use the police that should be protecting the people.
Anyway, it's time for us to go for break. We'll just take a short break. Remember, you can follow us on our Twitter handle at Democracy Today with a double Y, or you follow me on my handle at EG Osamor. You can also like our page on Facebook, Democracy Today.
Key steps to protect your permanent voter card, PVC. The permanent voter card stores biometric information of a voter which are electronically programmed and can only be accessed with a card reader. To protect your PVC, follow these steps. 1. Do not place your PVC in your wallet and sit on it, as these can damage the inner antenna and render it unusable. 2. Keep your PVC away from direct sunlight, heat, and wet places to prevent it from being defaced. 3. Keep your PVC in a secure place and bring it out on election day for voting. Remember, no permanent voter card, no voting. So keep your card safe from damage or loss.
All right, keep your PVC safe. That is the key for you to change the government you want to change or to retain the government you wish to retain. Now, talking about security in the Niger Delta, you also said that the leaders should focus on development because they have removed their mind far away from developmental issues. We are going into another election, and by December 1, the governors will start campaigns. What are we expecting? Just like you said, it's time they move away from politics of bitterness and propaganda.
When I took off here, the first thing I told you, and I have been in the Niger Delta politics and in Nigerian politics long enough to know, and I've studied sufficiently to tell you, that essentially the Niger Delta people have been so fairly treated in a manner that we have become our own problems. I give you this. No state governor, on the contrary from our history, apart from the Udoji Award, which was an increase in salary, no government has come out to say you must pay salaries, take this money for pension and salaries. Yet, no governor in the Niger Delta have said that his federal allocation has been withheld on account of being PDP. No 13% have been withheld from any state in the Niger Delta. NDDC money and funding have been going on smoothly and uninterrupted. Yet, the highest deficit, move from Uyo to Calabar, is 50 minutes drive normally. Today, you need 3 hours to get from Calabar to Uyo.
Whose fault? That's a federal road.
Excuse me?
It's a
this is what I'm saying to you. NDDC is populated, indeed manned by Niger Deltans. Is manned, the chairman, from the chairman down to the cleaners, are Niger Deltans.
So are you saying they should probe NDDC?
I'm not talking about NDDC.
They can do that.
I'm saying,
let them go ahead
yes,
and probe it.
I am saying the governors and every other person, the monies given even for payment of salaries and even pensions are put in private accounts and diverted by governors of this area.
Is that why we are justifying the police activity in the Niger Delta?
You are discussing development. And the police activity, the job of the police is to prevent a breakdown of law and order. Brigandage cannot be allowed on the basis of political profit. You cannot allow that. And I'm showing you why anger, like unless you are double talking, if you are discussing development, one of the key indices for anger is underdevelopment and hunger in the land.
Yes.
If people's salary is not being paid, you are paying 8 months salary, even with bailout, even with budget funding from the federal government.
Hold on. He has asked the question. Is that why the police should go into the states?
You ask
the allegations too. The allegations.
Development here.
Look at the Bayelsa state.
We are on the same page when it comes to development.
Hold on. Just hold on.
She asked me about development is coming now. Should our people look away? Because you said they should move away from politics.
Of course. Yeah.
And I was agreeing and confirming to you why that has become a major issue and why they should be used. But what I don't agree with is, for instance, a Bayelsa governor coming to say, look, my place is getting invaded by all kinds of people. Please support me with more security. More security comes. 2 months to election, you jump out and say,
no, what he is saying now is, in less than 3 months, 8 commissioners of police. And at the end of the day, they also brought back the first commissioner of police that was in Bayelsa.
Yes.
So why did you change him if you knew he was going to do the job well? Why did you change him from the onset?
From the complaint of even the man himself. From the complaint of the governor, these people were being changed. If they were not being changed...
And they also brought the man back.
Of course, after discovery, of course, it is not in the prerogative. It is not the prerogative of the governor to decide what an IG does. Even the president cannot direct an IG about what to do.
We really don't have that time.
You need to do that.
Now, we are moving into election, and you are a youth in Niger Delta. We are looking at an election in another 183 days. What is the way forward for a peaceful process?
The way forward is that the Niger Delta is seriously in need of leadership, seriously in need of leadership. And the way forward, whatever we are doing, we should know that the younger generation are watching us. Know about the leaders in Niger Delta. What we're expecting from them is how to bring the Niger Delta out of the shackle of poverty it finds itself now. The Niger Delta as it is presently is a total mess. So I'm talking about leaders across board.
Okay.
Rather than using force and trying to use the federal might and using the police, please, if you have a plan on how to develop the Niger Delta, how to bring infrastructure, how to equip the youth with human capital development, if you have that plan, please sell it to the people.
All right, then I would like to say thank you for being a part of the program. Thank you very much for coming. Thank you, Honorable, for also coming. And the Niger Deltans are hoping that the election period will be peaceful and they will go through elections peacefully come 2019. Remember, you can follow us on our Twitter handle, Democracy Today, and also follow me on my handle at EJ Osamor. Until tomorrow, 10 p.m., join us on Democracy Today. Good night.